we go again.
Heat. Hotness. Yes. Need for Speed Heat, or 2019, or whatever, has appeared up on a website. A website that is a retailer. It's one of the probably online key websites. I don't know enough about the retailer, but we have a whole bunch of them, like CD keys and whatever. Essentially, you can buy the game, you pre-order the game, should I say, on their website. They have now since removed that tie to the website, so you can't actually see it anymore. So all we have is this screenshot that somebody took to say that, yes, this was listed. Now, they named the game Need for Speed Heat. Now, as you may or may not know, that is the idea of the name, based on an article so far. That is what the community is speculating. Now, retailers usually get a little bit more information about games than people do. That's obviously because they've got to somewhat push and market this game around the same time of maybe the announcement or when it comes out, for example. Quite often recently, these retailers have been releasing some information about these games. I just find it rather interesting to see that the retailers want to be the first. Is it for traffic? I see what you're doing. I see. We've already made a video talking about if it's Need for Speed Heat or not, and essentially we came to the conclusion that we don't really know. What we are basing on is speculation of the name of the article announcing the game was Turning Up the Heat, as they so called it. The internet has run away with this idea, and it appears that a retailer has decided that my videos are factualization. Not only does someone working on that team believe my videos are factualization, and they just completely ignore the fact that, yes, whatever he's saying is gospel. Let's talk about the artwork first, shall we? Now, it's very clear to me by the art style, as any Need for Speed fan may have realized very, very quickly, the artwork of the box art for this so-called Need for Speed Heat, it kind of looks like No Limit. And the reason is because it is No Limits. It is No Limits artwork. It is literally the no... I don't understand how they could... Who thought of this? Maybe someone made it and lied to the reader. I don't know. But realistically, come on. Would that be the box art? Really? Need for Speed is trying to be about customization. We know this. It's about to be a cops and all this kind of stuff. Sure, it might be a placeholder or all that kind of rubbish, but really? A P1? Do you honestly think?
Oh yes, let's make a game about street racing. Street racing, you say? Well, why don't we put McLaren P1 in front of it?
Okay, that's part number one out of the way. The artwork, per se. But let's jump on to the next thing, which is also kind of part of the artwork. It has Need for Speed 2019 on the box. Why would it say Need for Speed 2019 on the box and then Need for Speed Heat on the name of the thing? I don't understand that. And what's even more so, haha, hilarious, the Need for Speed 2019 logo is mine! I made it in 5 seconds in Photoshop! I made it for my videos. Look at any of my 2019 videos. Look at how... Okay, you want to know how I know? Okay, it's my font. And do you know how I know? Well, if you look at the number 1, there is a bigger space between the numbers around the number 1. And the reason for that is because my font is broken. I know this because I have to change it every time. Look at any of my thumbnails. But I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and I had to just share that with you guys. Now, let me just bring you back down to reality. So we know this thing... There's a moth. Why are you in my shop? We know this thing is not real. They have since delisted it. I personally didn't see it up on the website, but I'm pretty sure it happens because that's just how these guys do. Am I denying that it's called Need for Speed Heat? I has said in a video that I think it may be called Need for Speed Heat, but literally what's funny to me is everything on this website that's in this is Need for Speed No Limits, is my logo. Everything in this can be found from watching my videos, speculation videos. I just thought it's really interesting. And why would they release it? Why would they release? Unfortunately, there's no more information that we can actually get from this leak. So it's not really leaking anything other than speculation, which is exactly what we already kind of knew. The word before 2019 on the picture actually just says appear, so release 2019. So wow, didn't know that. The people wondering why I'm making this video, well, I actually got sent this so many times you have no idea, and the mainstream media have started to pick up on it, so I wanted to just make a video. For those that know, I am kind of one of the people to go to when it comes to information on the game, and I'm going to tell you that this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. We already knew it's getting a release this year. We've already spoken about that on a video. We know around when it's going to come out, because usually it's coming out in November, and it seems like we would be on track for the same. Why would they do any different and begin to tease it already through this year? We know it's going to be cops versus racers as the focal point. We know it's going to be going back to the 2015 style. That, my friends, is all we have right now. I'm hoping that we get something super soon. Gamescom is the next gaming event that is coming up. For those who don't know, it is basically the European E3. If you've never realized that exists, because again, some people I've been speaking to over this week apparently don't know that Gamescom exists, but it does. And my friends, Gamescom is better than E3, except all the announcements are at E3, so Gamescom is more about playing them. As we build up to the announcement of Need for Speed and the launch of Need for Speed, I like to go full force, full swing with these type of videos, talking about Need for Speed 2019 with you, giving you every little bit of information we could possibly find. But again, this one, I just have to debunk it. But if this is true, and this is correct, because obviously there's a slither of hope there, considering the fact that they've now taken it down, the Need for Speed Heat is the name. And I'm going to be honest with you, as I was when I originally thought it. Need for Speed Heat sounds like a dumb name. I really don't like the name Need for Speed Heat. I'm a little bit more accepting of it as we go through and we're kind of getting the idea of it's going to be a cops versus racer game. It might make more sense when we see the game. Maybe it's in Texas and it's very hot all the time. But I sat down to have a think, what better name could I come up with? And I think about this quite often, but like, what could they call the next game if it isn't Heat? What could they call it? I mean, they can't call it Hot Pursuit, because again, we already know what Hot Pursuit, and Hot Pursuit is a very different thing. Pursuit, The Pursuit, Many Pursuits, I don't know. I was also thinking the only real good names in my mind are Underground and Most Wanted, because they perfectly tell you exactly what this is. But the sequel to Most Wanted has a really awful name, and that is Carbon. Now, Carbon is a material that we use to build pieces of usually aftermarket or higher end car parts for vehicles, and it has nothing to do with anything. It's still like, it was like a bounty hunting kind of game, or you were being bounty hunted, and it was Most Wanted 2. It was Most Wanted 2. It made no sense. Pro Street had professional street racers. Instantly, it makes total sense. Undercover, total sense. Carbon makes no sense. But how about they go from that and they call it aluminium? No, don't do that. So, at the time of me uploading this video, it is the end of the month before Gamescom. So, Gamescom is coming next month. And the Need for Speed anniversary, I believe, is slightly after that. So, if it's not a Gamescom, it'll be slightly after Gamescom. It would make total sense because they said they're going south, which is Germany. Gamescom, it's happening, okay? I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. You already know that this is mostly a Need for Speed channel, and if there's no popping off Need for Speed, don't try and make any sense of that. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But essentially, I am dying at this point. Like a lot of people, every single day I get people asking me on Twitter, any information? Can I get any details? Is there anything you know? And honestly, as soon as I know anything, I will let you know. And of course, that goes both ways. Thank you to everybody that hit me up with it. I don't want to sound like I'm being horrible to the people that sent me this, because obviously you're just as excited about the new Need for Speed as I am. You want every little bit of information you can possibly get your hands upon. But unfortunately, my friends, this is not it. This ain't it, Chiefs. Unfortunately, there's basically no information to be found. But again, don't stop sending me stuff. I appreciate being sent stuff, because sometimes I do miss some of these things and I want to be on top of it, you know. I want to share with everybody, get the ball rolling. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I promise you I will keep you up to date. I will be the first to upload any little bit of detail there is. I promise you, it's gonna happen. It's how we do. You know me. Come on, we're friends. Me and you. I will see you on Friday for another Need for Speed 2019 video that I've had planned for a little while. This one I think you're gonna appreciate. But towards the end of the week, I mean next week, we're gonna need your help for one of the big ones, which I'll let you know when I can. Until next time, peace. I mean heat. How? It's hot.